Okay, hi Hung, hi Patricia. We're just waiting on Michaela, but she will be with us shortly. We will get started. I will start off by firstly saying thank you everyone for coming online with me today to talk about ourselves and also everything that we're doing with our titles, and of course the wonderful charity Destiny Rescue. So I need to introduce my special guest that I've got here with me today. I have Robalyn Milford, who is Miss Supranational New Zealand 2025. Is that correct, Rob?
Yes, that is indeed correct. I'm currently not in Poland, so it must be next year.
Yay! And I've also got Nadia King, Miss Environment Wales.
Hello.
Yay! And, oh, I do have, oh, I did have, here she is. Michaela is joining us. Michaela, are you there?
I
Yay!
think so.
Yay!
Yay.
Hi! Michaela, I
Hi,
was going
lovely.
through.
Sorry about that.
No, totally fine. I was just going through and introducing the girls. So I have Robalyn here. She is Miss Supranational New Zealand 2025. And I've also got Nadia King, who is Miss Environment Wales 2024. And now we have Michaela Rose Fowler, who is Miss Grand Australia 2023 as well. So thank you so much for coming online with me today. And of course, talking about yourselves and helping me promote and raise awareness for Destiny Rescue as well. So, I would love to start off with, I guess, just introducing yourselves, and then we can kind of get started talking about the charity as well. So, Michaela, would you like to go first, just introducing yourself and maybe just telling us a little bit about your international journey as well?
Of course. So, hi everyone. Yes, I am your current Miss Grand Australia. I'm really, really excited to be working with a lot of the girls, or all of the girls, for the national finals. But I think Courtney will tell you a little bit about that. So, just sort of to get to know me, I competed in Vietnam last year in October. It was an incredible experience. Absolutely life changing. So I'm really excited for whoever gets to go this year. Um, I've been in pageantry for about 10 years. So I've had a few titles, and this was the fourth time I had the privilege of representing my beautiful country um, internationally. So I really, really love sharing my pageantry knowledge and all of that sort of thing. So um, yeah, I don't really know what my next endeavors will be after Miss Grand Australia, but I assume I will be remaining in this wonderful industry that I absolutely love and adore.
Yes, once you're in uni, it's a hard road to kind of get out of because it's such a great place and such a fulfilling space to be in as well. Um, can I now invite Rob? Would you like to introduce yourself and I guess your journey as well?
Kia ora, everyone. My name is Roblind, and I am your Miss Supranational New Zealand 2025. Yes, next year's Miss Supranational New Zealand. So, like Michaela, I have been in the pageant industry for about 10 years, and this upcoming Miss Supranational will be, I believe, my fourth time as well. So, similar to Michaela, too. So, I am really excited on my time at Miss New Zealand. It has been such a wonderful experience. It was such a long 6 months, but so worth it. Over that time, I've used my platform and my voice to showcase the importance of mental health, as well as sharing our own stories, as well as creating awareness about body image. Something that I am very dedicated to, and something that I've been working alongside to many charities throughout New Zealand, and it has helped me inspire me create my own campaign called Be Uniquely You. It was created in June 2021 due to my experience with body image issues as well as anxiety and depression. And so over the past several years, I've been talking with the youth as well as many groups throughout New Zealand to create that safe space and to make sure that we are not alone, we are all banding together. And I am so excited to be joining with Courtney, Michaela, and Nadia. It is such a wonderful time to create this conversation about child exploitations because it is such a huge issue globally and it needs to be addressed. And so having small talks like this is a great starting point. So huge kudos to you, Courtney.
Thank you, Rob. As well, Nadia, would you like to introduce yourself too?
Yes, of course. So thank you for having me here. So hi everyone, my name is Nadia King and I'm the current Miss Environment Wales. Again, I feel like we're all a little bit of a veteran here. It's my 10 years within pageantry, and this would be my third international title. I actually competed with Courtney and Rosalind back in 2022. We were all just laughing at how long ago that was. My title actually takes me to Miss Environment International, where we'll be competing in India later this year. So I am super excited about that. And then additionally, my platform is basically a non-profit charitable organization called the Outdoor Challengers. I actually established this platform back in lockdown, so start of 2020, and basically it encourages people, equips people with the knowledge to enjoy the outdoors safely and securely. We host a lot of walking groups. We donate hiking equipment and sports equipment to along charities, to schools as well. So it's been a fantastic journey and I can't wait to see where it continues to grow and takes me.
Lovely. And I love the way that pageantry has really opened up a space for all of us to actually achieve something bigger than ourselves as well. So it's such a great journey to be on. About myself, I guess I didn't think and plan on re-entering the pageant world again, but here I am. It was kind of came into fruition because there were some really significant health hardships that two really important women in my life experienced over the last couple of years, and it's kind of those moments that make you reflect on where you are in your life, and it's kind of also the realization that life is so short that we really need to set goals that are big, dream big, and live a life that is totally limitless. So I feel like entering Miss Grand is a huge goal, a huge dream of mine that I have always kind of pushed aside because I didn't think that it was obtainable for me. And I guess one of the things that I've really realized over the last couple of years is just the importance of taking the leap, and dreaming big and heading towards any goal that you want to achieve as well. So I am currently very busy in preparations for the national final, organising outfits, catwalk, nutrition, and on top of that, of course, a huge component is my platform work as well. So I am really passionate about education equality, and what that means is making sure that everyone in Australia, every child, including children overseas as well, have access to a quality education, because we know that education is what actually helps lift people out of poverty as well. So I will be working on hosting 2 workshops in a rural town. It's actually my hometown. One is a modelling and deportment workshop and the other is an art workshop. And it's really giving an opportunity for the kids in these remote areas to actually experience and gain skills that they will be able to use and in their future lifetimes as well. So I know I would have really appreciated that as a kid. I had to move to Perth, Western Australia, to actually receive a really high quality education to get me to where I am today. And so my hope is, I guess, by doing these sorts of things, these kids will be able to gain some skills. I am also hosting a donation drive for a charity here in Australia called Give Right. They do incredible work to provide necessary school supplies to disadvantaged youths. And I'm also in the works of connecting with a organisation overseas. So watch this space. They will hopefully be able to help me provide some resources to kids overseas as well. So there's a lot that's happening. It's a very exciting time, and it's so fulfilling to be able to actually go through and do these passion projects as well. So of course, another reason why I did enter Miss Grand was because of the work that they do with Destiny Rescue. And when I think about my life, my 4 nieces, my 4 nephews, I work with kids every day as a teacher. I just think about how heartbreaking the whole situation is for those kids. And it really, I guess, makes you take a step back and have a think about, how could people possibly exploit, the most vulnerable kids that are out there. And my family and friends have really gotten behind me so far, and I've been able to raise $735 so far for Destiny Rescue. So I'm super excited and really, really proud to share that as well. So that's great. I just wanted to talk about the charity as well. So I don't know if you girls know, I know obviously Michaela, you know a lot about Destiny Rescue, but do you girls know much about the work that Destiny Rescue does?
No.
I have done a bit of research on Destiny Rescue. I know that New Zealand is one of the funding states alongside with Australia and as well as the US. But in New Zealand, we are not called Destiny Rescue, but Child Rescue.
Ooh.
And so it's nice to have that international cooperation and collection as well to support each other and to stop the child exploitation happening in other countries as well.
Yeah, I know. It's great that obviously Australia and New Zealand are such strong allies too. So we're always working together to, I guess, achieve bigger dreams and bigger goals. So Destiny Rescue is a charity based here that actually rescue children from child sexual exploitation and human trafficking around the world. And not only do they actually free them from the situations, they also equip them with the skills that they need to stay free. And they currently work in Asia, Africa, and throughout Latin America. And the funding that we are raising as Miss Grand national finalist here in Australia actually goes not only towards the actual setup of the rescues, but it also goes into the funding to help these people, return to schooling and gain a quality education, and to also help them gain extra skills that will give them that financial freedom that they so desperately need. So I think what's also important is obviously in our own countries, it's not always widely spoken about the impact that child sexual exploitation has, and how prevalent it actually is. So I guess, what do you girls know about the child exploitation that actually happens in your country?
I don't know if I know a lot about the statistics and about Destiny Rescue and what they do, so I'll leave it to the other girls to put their thoughts forward.
Okay, I'll quickly shout up then. So we don't have the charity Destiny Rescue within the UK, but we do have something very similar with they're called Barnardos. And basically they released a paper within, I think it was the 1st of June of this year, and they announced the biggest issue that we face in the UK is not only sexual exploitation of children, but also criminal gang exploitation of children. And I think what I've seen and what I've read is that the biggest issue that we're now currently facing is leading up to the summer holidays. A lot of parents are struggling with the cost of living. But because of that struggle with the parents, that's then leading the issues, that's pushing the issues onto their children. And I think it was the statistic that I read was 1 in 4 children currently at the moment are worried that they won't have the funds to do activities throughout the summer holidays. And that's where you see criminal gangs targeting children like this and offering them a world which they shouldn't really be involved in ever, and offering that to either traffic drugs, traffic people, anything like that for money. And unfortunately, there's a lot of children within the UK that are falling into that world at the moment. And that's probably one of the biggest issues that we're seeing across the UK.
Thank you so much, Nadia. Yeah, it's so important that we, talk about these issues, because without the discussion, there's no actual impact and there's no change that's made. So thank you very much for taking the time to research and to provide us with that information. It's really, really important. And I'm really, I love that, there's, other organizations out there that are doing, incredible work too. So thank you very much. Rob, what about New Zealand?
So I'm a person that likes to be a little bit nerdy and likes to do a little bit of statistics. So globally, the statistics for child exploitation is higher than we know. But according to the UN, there's around about over 1 billion children who, from the age from 2 to 17, that have been exploited throughout their lifetime. And there are various forms of child exploitation, but what is most common in New Zealand is online child exploitation. And I'm sure that's very noticeable and prevalent not only in New Zealand, but also in Australia, in the UK, and most first world and third world countries too. So to get to know about online child exploitations, we kind of need to know the definition of it. So under the Australian Centre of Counter Child Exploitation, it is defined as the use of technology or the internet to facilitate the sexual abuse of a child, including the production and sharing of child sexual abuse material online. And this can come in various forms, such as grooming, live streaming, consuming child sex abuse material, and coercing and blackmailing children for sexual purposes. And of course, with that, an adult can very much use their authority and use their power to force a child to do all these heinous acts, such as chatting sexual acts, as well as sending child pornography, an image of a child throughout social media, as well as coercing a child to do sexual acts. And of course, not only in New Zealand, but I'm sure throughout the globe, this is illegal. But there is also another form of online child sex exploitation called self-generating. And it is a form where a child produces their own image of themselves, whether it is nudity or filming another child to do nudity, or anything that is quite explicit in sharing themselves or another friend online. And I know myself, and I know a few people who have shared a friend's nudes in their lifetime, or have heard someone doing nudes or somewhere in schools, and that's illegal. And that's something that we should address as a community, in realizing that these should be stopped and should be eliminated from society, because, this is sharing nudity, as well as the current situation in our society is creating more damage than good. And I know in New Zealand, we are trying to stop that through several ways, such as education. I know that in the Internal Department Affairs here in New Zealand, we have 2 ways of prevention. One is called Keep to Safe, which educates not only parents, but also school children on how to be safe online. And they are taught by websites, games, as well as miniseries to educate these kids. But also in New Zealand, we also have this digital child exploitation filter. So not only in our department, but also collaborating with different departments in other governments throughout the world, we are trying to block URLs that contain sexual child exploitation websites and URLs. And according to statistics here in New Zealand, we are blocking around about 300 to 7,000 URL websites a day. So it's pretty crazy how big and how much of a problem it is. I know because of the pandemic and because we are more inclined to stay indoors and be doing our own things online, since we are now, I guess, more like little hermits in our own homes. Since the pandemic, I know that this is going to become an increasing effect, and it's good for us to create that conversation and to also be aware of not only what we are seeing online, but what we are surrounding us as well. So I hope that can give you a bit of idea on the problem of child exploitation here in New Zealand. I know we are such a small country and you think that this is such a minor thing, but actually it is a major problem, and I'm glad that our country is doing something about it.
Thank you very much, Rob. And you know what? I love that there is such an importance placed on education in New Zealand as well. I know it is a very prevalent thing in our curriculum here in Australia as well, to teach kids the importance of being safe online. So that's, I guess, a great way of ensuring that young people know exactly how to stay safe online, especially when it comes to child pornography and sexual abuse online as well. Michaela, would you like to share your thoughts as well?
Yes. I had the privilege of meeting Australian CEO Paul, I think his surname is Murgaard, CEO of Destiny Rescue, a couple of weeks ago, and hearing him speak about, I guess, all of the different ways that Destiny Rescue is helping, not just, being boots on the ground and actually rescuing these people and children, and then also, as Courtney mentioned, helping to keep them free, helping them to stay free. The education around it and actually having these conversations is crucial to ending this. It's not a nice topic. It's not a topic that people openly discuss and talk about because it's really uncomfortable, and that's something that we need to get more comfortable with. And Paul really stressed that, and he used a bit of an example of, we're also eager to, with the Olympics and things like that coming up, we're also eager to win these titles and gold medals and things like that. But something that we don't realize that we've got, bronze and silver medals in here in Australia is being some of the largest, having some of the largest numbers of, as Rob was talking about, online sexual exploitation of children. We might not be exploiting children here in Australia, but which I'm sure it does happen actually, but we are often funding this behaviour online largely, or actually travelling to countries like Thailand. I think we're one of the largest, or one of the number one countries in sexual abuse in Thailand, or something like that. I can't remember the exact statistic. It's pretty daunting and pretty scary to think about that. We can kind of be a little bit removed from it, or feel like we are, but when you realise that we're one of the largest here in Australia, we're one of the largest countries funding it, it really hits home. So just having the conversations and actually bringing it up with people and educating people on it is really important. He also spoke about the fact that it's increasingly women are actually becoming offenders also. So typically in the past it was predominantly males, but they are seeing a really large rise in female behaviour and getting involved in this exploitation as well, which is really, really scary. He spoke about that being due to, I guess, what we have access to online, and the fact that we're becoming so desensitized to the things that we see online so often that often, and again, I'm sorry, this is really uncomfortable to talk about, but he was talking about, couples are looking for like the next thing, the next excitement. And he said that the statistics are showing that that is rising, that it's the exploitation of online child pornography that has seen a rise in couples and things like that. So it's very, very scary to think that it's just continuing to increase as we are exposed to so many different things online and desensitized. So it's just sort of keeping that in mind and talking about it and getting it out there, that this is happening and it's happening at home. Just as important as donating to the cause. They also had, I can't say his name because he's still currently in the field, but a gentleman from the Philippines came and spoke to the group also, explaining what they're doing on the ground and how important that the funds are. So I am really, really proud of Miss Grand Australia and how much they have managed to raise. And that is all, majority of it is off the backs of our girls running these fundraisers and literally saving lives. And it's when you hear some of the personal stories of these young children now that they've grown up who were saved and things like that, it's truly heartwarming, scary, and you can't help but want to get involved and help out. So well done, Courtney, for putting this together and doing that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it just kind of, it makes you, I don't know about anyone else, I'm sure you feel the same, but it literally makes, like the hairs on my arms stick up thinking about the way that people are exploiting young children for their own benefit. And I think there's no greater cause than raising money for Destiny Rescue, especially in times like these where we are seeing more prevalent things pop up on social media, online. So it couldn't come at a better time for us to be making sure that we are raising as much money as we can for Destiny Rescue. I know that, they do a lot of work in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, but it's right on our doorstep as well. It happens here in Australia. It happens everywhere around the world. I know that in the ACCCE, which is a governing body here in Australia for child exploitation, they actually put out a report with 33,000 claims of child exploitation here in Australia, and they also had 217,000 claims thereafter the following year of reports of online child sexual abuse right here in Australia. So we are kidding ourselves if we don't think that it is happening right here in our own countries. It is such an important issue to talk about. It is uncomfortable, but without having these conversations, we really cannot make any change. So the more that we talk about it and discuss it, the greater the impact is going to be that we will have, not only for the charity, but also for the victims, and the way that we will be able to impact their lives for the better is something that will be, it's so hard to describe and to put into words. So thank you all so much for taking the time today to come together to have this discussion, to research child exploitation in your own countries as well. I guess what we can take away from this is when you see it, report it to whatever governing body there is in your country. Even if there's an inkling of it, it has to be reported. You see it all the time, when you go away overseas on holidays, and the more it is reported, the more we can actually eradicate the issue. So important that we are getting behind this cause and doing as much as we can to help these young people that really they're crying out for help, but they just don't know which way to look. So thank you so much. Does anyone have any last final words before we end today?
Can I just quickly add to something that Paul also spoke about, which just made me respect Destiny Rescue as an organisation even more, was just their the way that they actually handle themselves in this situation. So he was talking about when he was personally in the field, and I can't remember exactly which country that he said he was in. It was Southeast Asia though. And they were posing as gentlemen in one of these situations where they were at like a private event where they basically can buy the girls. And they were posing as those gentlemen. And he said that when the law enforcement came in and the girls sort of realized what was happening, it didn't happen the way that you see it in the movies where they, charge in the door and, guns out and carry the girls away and things like that. And the reason it shouldn't happen like that is because you are traumatizing these poor women. It is a moment of liberation, and it should feel so, and it should be so, and it should be safe, and it should be calm, and they should be treated with dignity and respect. And with some of these people, it's all they've ever known. And in some ways it becomes their safety, and they see their lives as that's it forever. And so just the way that they handle themselves in every single aspect of the way that they save these mainly mostly women and children, it just speaks to their the research that they're doing and just really understanding the impact that they have on on everyone involved. So I just commend them for just the way they conduct themselves.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
I think the only thing I just want to add is that this was such an eye-opening experience. So Courtney, thank you so much for putting it together, because what I learned very quickly after doing my own research is that not only from being in a first world country all the way through to third world country, it's happening everywhere. And it was quite shocking really to read those statistics, especially here in the UK, Wales alone, that it is on everyone's doorstep. And I just think everyone here has said something about the education piece. I think that's definitely right. We definitely need to be doing more education within schools, within your own homes, because I feel like that's where the first impact of making a change is going to happen. So thank you so much, Courtney, for putting us all together in this space to talk about it. And I really do wish you all the best of luck at the grand finals as well.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Courtney, thank you for putting this together for all of us. It's so nice to be reunited with Nadia and you, and also meeting Michaela too, and to talk about this, because I wasn't very much aware about child exploitation until you messaged me about it, and I thought, hey, it doesn't hurt to know a little bit more. And I was overwhelmed by the amount of statistics and how much of a problem it is. And as Michaela said, it is uncomfortable to talk about it and research it, but it needs to be addressed. So I appreciate you for making me aware about this and for us to discuss it, because now I want to know more and want to do more. So I appreciate you, Courtney, and I wish you all the best as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I guess what we can all walk away with from this is exactly what you've all said: the importance of having the conversation, the importance of having the discussion, because again, the more discussion we have, the more we reduce the stigma around it being a taboo topic, and the better the impact will be for all of us. So I encourage you all to take away from this, go and have those conversations that you need to have, whether it be with your loved ones, the people